right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back for another episode of Punch Drunk Nerd. We are shooting this on May 4th. May the 4th be with you. Okay, everybody. Obviously, it's going to be, when this comes out, it's May 5th. And we'll have Doctor Strange. Oh, my goodness. Excuse me, my manners. So this is Punch Drunk Nerd, podcast with a bunch of friends, boyos. My name is Luis Gonzalez, and with me is...
Miguel Sanchez.
And Deadpool.
There we go. We're the three guys come together and we talk about nerd shit. All right. We're going to talk about news. We're going to talk about Moon Knight, and we're going to talk about what we're into. Now, what I was getting into earlier was, you see that? What I was getting into earlier was saying that by the time this podcast comes out, obviously Doctor Strange will be out. We are not covering Doctor Strange. We're doing our 1 week later review, as we like to name it.
Nice.
So that'll come out next week. This week, we're going to talk about Moon Knight and the finale. But before all that, we're going to do our news of the week. We got some good stuff to talk about this week. And, you know, with Doctor Strange coming out, the first thing that we're going to talk about is Doctor Strange's release, specifically the leakages that are happening on YouTube. Okay?
Hard.
It is, I knew they were happening, and I knew it happened during Spider-Man. Luckily, when Spider-Man came out, I had the grace of God to go to the premiere when it first came out. So I wasn't when I was fine to walk in and see the spoils. Like, it wasn't a big deal. Here, I'm just a normal plebeian waiting to see the movie tomorrow. And, you know, I have to dodge and miss all these thumbnails on YouTube. And Miguel was texting us earlier and was like, guys, do not go to YouTube. There are spoilers out there. And I know some spoilers, but then I saw it too, literally just a few seconds ago before this podcast started.
Oh no.
I know.
Did you go on YouTube?
I was trying to get to our website, our YouTube channel, and I was like, okay, Luis, you got to navigate this. Like, click this button, click this button.
Yeah, it's
but
a minefield out there.
It's a minefield, and the thumb. And you told me, you're like, watch out for the thumbnail, and I was like, okay, I have to like look for the side of my eye just to see where I'm at, navigate YouTube, and it just stuck out like a sore thumb.
So my TV on YouTube, it'll if you click the if you don't even click the video, it'll automatically play if you're scrolled onto it.
Yeah.
So I was looking down and I looked up as the thumbnail was changing from the thumbnail to the actual video. So it was like double spoilers. Just like if I had known whatever the spoiler was, I would have just been upset, but whatever. But then it like showed the clip, and I'm frantically looking for my remote. Like, how do I turn this shit off?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I mean, look, I did think there was a chance this spoiler happened.
Yeah.
But it would have been nice, obviously, to see it. And I just don't understand. I wish there was a way to shut it down. You know what I mean? I wish we had, like, you know, some Marvel police to, like, take these down or something. But it is getting out of hand.
Think, right?
What I was telling Luis a second ago was that it was the title of the video was something about audience reactions. And it's like, no one is really seeing this. It had to have come from the premiere. And it's like, of all places to not have that shit locked down. You know what I mean? Like, some of the biggest stand-up comedians will take your phone before you even go into their theater. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, how is Marvel premiering their own movie and not like cracking down on that? Or maybe they are, and it was just someone that snuck in or whatever. But
dude, I was at the Spider-Man premiere. You know, and
the say process that again.
There, I was at the Spider-Man No Way Home premiere, and I sat right in front of Shang-Chi himself.
Say it, dude! Hell yeah, bro!
And it was so funny. He was behind me, and when the Marvel title card comes in, he has his face on the card now at near the very end.
Yeah.
And I could hear him getting hyped. He's like, "Yo, dude, there's me. I'm right there. I'm right there."
Oh, that's cool.
And so it was cool. Like, he really is like a real Marvel fan, which is really awesome. And he was having a good time. But like, when you're going in the theater, no one is doing any checks because there are all of these celebrities there, you know, high-end celebrities, that they're not going to be like, "I'm sorry, Tom. I'm sorry, Benedict. Can you give me your phone?" And then you have like people like news reporters, like the guy from Variety who spoiled about the Eternals after credit scene. Do you remember that? Yeah. I saw him there too. I was like, "Oh, well, I guess you didn't have any punishment. You're just come back and continue doing this." And then but then it has like influencers and other people from different like organizations and plus ones and all that stuff. And those people, like, it's a packed house. No one's getting checked. And so it's just, you're right. It's insane to me that at the Marvel premiere, They were having spoilers, people filming inside theater when their messaging is like don't spoil.
Don't spoil. I mean, I think one of the greatest things that Marvel ever accomplished was hyping everyone up for Avengers Endgame so hard that people were actually kind of on board with not spoiling that movie. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that, I think, is one of the only times that audiences will really come together. I think that was like a moment in time. It'll never happen again.
I felt that way too.
We were all ready to see that movie and no one wanted to spoil it. No one wanted it spoiled for them. You know, and I'm also sitting here thinking about, we're talking about, you're mentioning celebrities. I'm over here thinking about Mark Ruffalo spoiling whatever Avengers movie it was, because his phone was just playing in his pocket. Didn't know.
Yeah, he was like doing a live chat and he left it in his pocket and it was playing the first part of Thor Ragnarok.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I'm one of the people that it's like, I usually don't care about spoilers, but it just was one of those things that rubbed me the wrong way, because it's like, we're just a couple days away from this movie.
Yeah.
Just let it breathe for a moment. We're almost there. But, you know, it's the internet. Here we are. You just got to get used to it. You know, brush it off, you know, and pick yourself back up. I can do this all day.
Yeah, I could do this all day. Exactly. And like, I know again, my last experience with Spider-Man was that there was a fan event.
Wait, where did you see Spider-Man?
So, you know, usually the premieres are happening like on Hollywood. No,
I'm just bugging around, man. I was just trying to get you to say you were at the premiere one more time.
Yeah. I was about to go into this because Sony does their premiere somewhere else outside of Hollywood. That's why. So, you know, we get some inside information.
They would.
No, but they afterwards they had like on Wednesday, like the next day, because I think their premiere was on Tuesday. On the Wednesday, they had a fan event as well. So it was like a big fan event where they invited influencers and all these people. And I can imagine, especially there, you're going to have a sea of people with phones who are just like, want to be the first ones to put it up. And you're right. Like when Avengers Endgame came out, everyone was so respectful, at least for me. Like that was my experience. And then like a new generation of fans came in, and now there's this there's like an understanding that, oh yeah, it's going to get spoiled. It's going to go up on YouTube. And now we all have to enter into this period where we like are not on our phones until we see the movie. Because
I mean, Ed was telling us he was unsubscribing for all these subreddits.
Yeah.
And I was like, good for him. And then boom, YouTube is just right there.
I know.
Up my life.
I got a YouTube blocker like extension. It's called Channel Blocker on Chrome. Just because there's this one YouTube site that is really annoying to me, and I never want to see it again. So I had to download it till I can just not see it ever come up in my feed. I just want to, after the movie's done, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna block all these channels so that this doesn't happen again in the future. But who knows? You know, they're like what's it called? They're like Hydra. You cut off one head, two more come out, right? Huh? Some Marvel fans out there, okay?
Yeah. Do you guys like Marvel?
You know, and Kevin Feige, we were talking about this. Kevin Feige also thinks that the Doctor Strange trailers spoiled too much. You know, I worked on a music video based on the song Hero. It's already out on YouTube. Check it out, and we'll talk about it some more. We'll talk about it some more afterwards. I'm really happy. I'm really proud of it. It was really fun to make. But I was like looking through all the trailers and clips so I could build out this music video. And what's it called? I was kind of surprised as well to like see all the stuff that they were giving us. You know what I mean? Like all the and Ed, you made a mess. You were saying like, I can't believe there was this much footage and this much stuff that they revealed.
And that was. I mean, first off, Luis, I've got to applaud your dedication to that. Like, editing is it's like a drug.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it was like a huge like whale of a time.
Yeah.
But like stepping away from it, my first reaction was just like, "Oh, I've seen too much.
Yeah.
I need to. I should have waited." Not that I wasn't gonna watch it. Of course, I was gonna watch it, and it. To all loyal listeners, it's a really good ride. So if you want to wait till after Doctor Strange, so be it. Just make sure you do go and view that video because it's incredible. But yeah, I mean, I was just like, oh my god, like at one point, and not out of boredom or anything, I was just like, man, it's almost like he's got like a montage of the whole movie going here. like from start to finich. Like there's a clear indication of like progression in the story.
Yeah.
And you guys remember I was bitching to you guys last week about they released a trailer, which I didn't watch, but I might as well have seen it now, where they, I felt, had some minor spoilers to it, and it just feels like, I don't know. And then I posted in our notes that even Kevin Feige mentioned like how he felt like maybe there were too many spoilers in the trailers. And I was like, bitch, I thought you were in charge of this shit. Like, how does that go over his head?
I don't know.
Like, how does that not get his approval? Like, I thought he had a firm grasp on it. It's like, oops, like, oh, I didn't check that one, guys. But it's bizarre to me that, I mean, we all know, and I think we made this argument when, you know, they were getting us hyped for Spider-Man No Way Home, that, you know, at this point, we're all on board.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you really, really, really don't need to show that much in these trailers. And I feel like when you start giving away cameos and stuff like that would otherwise be a surprise if you haven't seen shows like What If and stuff like that, you know, let's just enjoy it on the ride when we get to the theater, you know? Like, how much more amazing and more impactful would these moments be?
Yeah.
You know, and granted, we're seeing all of this out of context, and it could be even more awesome, and that's fine. But that initial surprise is already out there. We already know. And this is, again, before the movie comes out. So now you guys are seeing these spoilers on YouTube and stuff. It's like, it's a killjoy, honestly. I mean, because there's going to be a part of you going into that movie, and then you're going to have that expectations like,
when is it coming
this
up?
bit must be coming up.
Yeah,
exactly. Like, it's bound to be happening. Oh, this bit, it must be it. And it happened in Spider-Man. It did happen in Spider-Man because people were so intent on spoiling that movie. It's absurd.
I will say, obviously for Spider-Man, it was a little bit different because it was like everyone knew what was about to happen with Spider-Man No Way Home. You know what I mean?
It was just like a matter of when.
It was like Hollywood's worst kept secret, is how I heard it referred to as, you know?
Sure. Yeah. I think the I don't know. We have to, you know, please follow, subscribe, get us to the place where we can go to these premieres day one. You know what I'm saying? Where we don't get spoiled at all. we get there front line with Kevin Feige,
and then we'll spoil it for you.
We'll spoil it for you. Exactly. We'll get to, you know, bump,
and we will
elbows.
so hard. Hard.
We'll quickly turn like that. We'll become a punch drunk nerd. We'll get spoilers. We'll put them up there.
You know why? Because we'll get a little ad revenue, and then all of a sudden we'll be like sellouts. Be like, you know what? Fuck the regular people.
What's the quote? You know, you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Yep.
You didn't die a hero. You live long. Yeah. So, you know, go out there, enjoy Doctor Strange. Hit us up at Punch Drunk Nerd. Tell us what you thought about it. But now we're going to go into a little bit of a trailer festival. First thing we want to talk about is the new Obi Wan trailer. You know, it's May 4th today. May the 4th be with you, and also with you. And so we're going to talk about Obi Wan. You know, did you guys saw the trailer, right?
Yes, and you guys know I'm not into Star Wars, but I'm making an effort for Ewan McGregor's Obi Wan, because I tell you what, man, he was one of the highlights of the prequel series, which obviously I'm not saying anything that the rest of the world hasn't already said. But yeah, man, I'm hyped for this show more than any other Star Wars show. I don't really care about The Mandalorian. I don't care about any of the other ones. This one, though, has got my attention.
Yes.
All right, moving on to the next one. I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, they're already on board. I'm glad this one was kind of like a brief one. It just kind of gave us a little bit more insight into the conflict, but we didn't see anything that I felt was too spoilerific.
Yeah.
So, you know, Marvel, take notes. You guys are owned by the same studio, so communicate.
You know,
I'm excited.
Yeah,
I think I love the tone that they're going for, and it's exciting.
I know we probably talked about this already last time that we talked about Obi-Wan specifically, but do you guys think? I'm sorry, do you guys think they're lying about Darth Maul? Like, do you think he's going to be in this show?
Yes.
I don't know.
Wow.
No, I feel firmly that he will be.
I think it's too, prime. You know what I mean? It's like there, it's ready.
Yeah.
And imagine if they actually have like a face off again. I would be so here for it. Now I didn't watch the cartoon show, so I don't know if they do that, but in the show. But I'm just saying, I would be hyped as hell if that happened in real life.
No, I think it will. I would be very surprised if he did not make a cameo.
Okay.
All right.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here.
Well,
yeah.
I heard it here the second time because the first time we talked about the Obi Wan trailer, I said the exact same thing.
All right, that's what I remembered. That's true.
Good. I do firmly think he's gonna be in it. I don't think they would miss out on that opportunity, especially with the kind of somewhat tarnished reputation of Star Wars presently. It's very hot and cold right now, especially after Boba Fett. So I think they would throw everything at this series, if only to, get some hype about it. That's how you draw people in. I didn't want to see Boba Fett. I heard Cad Bane was in it, and I watched all fucking the whole season, much to my disappointment and dismay. But that's why we love Star Wars, right?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Cad Bane.
It's like a toxic relationship. Being a Star Wars fan.
Why are you doing this to me? Okay. I'll watch some more.
Go on. I'll just watch it. I'll watch a little bit more. You got a character in it? Fuck it.
Yeah, I know that the trailer ends with the this is Darth Vader, motherfuckers. You're gonna watch it now.
Yeah.
It's So I think it's it didn't really. I'm excited. There's not much else to say, but we're excited. Now the trailer that came out was Weird, the Al Yankovic story. Yeah, Yankovic story. With our boy Daniel Radcliffe, who's looking yoked as all get out. I like where this dude's career goes. He just does weird shit. Daniel Radcliffe. I'm always on board for whatever he does. He just looks like he's having a good time.
And he's actually good at it.
Yeah.
Like, it would be one thing if he came out of Harry Potter and the world just realized, like, oh shit, he's actually not a good actor. But he has, I feel like, multiple times now proven himself. And it's always in a weird movie or a weird role. So I'm glad that he's taking those risks and stepping out of, any expectations that the world had for him. And I'm loving it. So I don't know much about Weird Al Yankovic, but I'm here for it, And that trailer just looked fun. It looked like a fun ride.
My main concern was just they made him look so sexy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was just like, is that who he is in real life? I'm not a fan, so I don't know. I don't follow him or.
It was like when the door opened and he was shirtless, and then he grabbed something. I was like, that took me back too. I was like, oh, was he like that?
Yeah, was he like a babe? You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't remember this shit, but okay, whatever.
No, he's always been a very
weird,
stocky, pale-looking guy, who had very massive hair.
Good for him, though. You know what I mean? Let him get his roses. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it.
Yeah, and this is a thing that's like, what's it called? It's being led, or it's a Roku channel.
Tubi or
Roku channel movie.
Oh yeah,
and it's streaming. It will debut in the fall on the Roku channel. So that's a first for me, at least hearing content from them. A Roku original.
Yeah, but, I'm not rushing. I will say this: Roku. I'm about to talk shit, but I shouldn't, because Roku was like the first streaming device I ever had.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember you had a Roku. You were watching Modern Family on it or something.
Yeah, I mean that was like my intro to streaming. Really, like we had Netflix, we had Hulu, we had something else, and it was like, whoa, I can't believe all my options.
Yeah.
Sarah used to have a Roku, and we have that same remote that we let Lily play with now.
with the little tag.
Because obviously we moved on.
It doesn't.
Yeah, we moved on to. Yeah, it does have a tag.
Yeah.
And
It's like
yeah,
a Levi
so,
jean
like, whenever
pants
she's
with the little tag.
yeah, exactly that. So when we don't want her fucking with our shows, we'll just hand her that.
Solid.
She's content.
Like a younger sibling holding the controller that's not plugged in.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
For a new generation, Ed. Good job.
Then we had our last thing on our trailer fest here. There's a trailer for Olivia Wilde's movie, Don't Worry, Darling, with Florence Pugh and a bunch of other people like Chris Pine and Harry Styles, right?
Harry Styles, right?
Yeah. You know, again, I'm here for it. You know, I'm down to check it out.
I actually didn't watch this trailer, but it doesn't matter because my wife is going to drag me to this movie anyway. You know what I mean?
There you go.
I will say
she's a Harry Styles fan.
It looks good. I mean, I would not that I questioned that it would be, because I really liked
Booksmart.
Olivia, Booksmart.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, like I was kind of surprised by the scope of it. It looked like a pretty big scale movie.
Yeah.
So to that extent, it looks pretty cool. And yeah, Florence Pugh is kind of on a roll right now. I will say though, talking of Harry Styles, just coming out of Eternals, I think this movie will make or break his acting career. Like he was in Dunkirk, kind of a small role, not a lot of dialogue kind of thing. Then the Eternals, spoiler alert, and he, I don't think he was very good in that. But yeah, this will be a considerably meatier role.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how he plays. Is he just a pretty boy and superstar, or is he actually a good actor? I don't know. Me no know. But we find out. That's all I got to say about that.
I'm just looking up when the movie comes out. It looks like it's coming out September 23rd, 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it looks like there's a lot more budget to it and like just a lot more. And she's definitely telling it with a different style compared to Booksmart too.
Oh yeah,
it's cool to see her range. Like it looks like it's cool to see that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, there was no trailer yet for it, but there will be Fast X. We're talking about Justin Lin leaving Fast X. He was the boy who directed basically what you know as Fast and Furious. You know, the franchise as it is now, it has to do a lot with Justin Lin. You know, the first couple movies were a little bit different than the ones now. But he's leaving. And I think there was word that it was because of the relationship with Vin Diesel. And there was a lot of mental stress that he was dealing with because of it. So, yeah, I don't know. You guys watch Fast and Furious?
Yeah, I think of the three of us, I'm the one that's more likely to watch these movies. I haven't seen all of them, but I actually have seen a good chunk of them now.
Yeah.
They are like some of my favorite like popcorn movies. Like even with Marvel, like Marvel puts out like superhero movies, and normally that would just kind of be like popcorn flick. But I mean, Marvel is so good. But Fast and Furious is like absolute brain dead entertainment, and I love it. I just shut my brain off. I drug Ed to go see the spinoff Hobbs and Shaw. A few years back.
Yeah.
And I had
like literally he drugged me and took me there. I woke up and I was like, oh.
I did. I said mahalo or whatever.
I know. I was trying to think of like a line or something.
No, I love those movies just because they're silly and they've just made so many and refuse to quit. And it's just like how I did think the last one, the 9th one, was particularly bad. It was definitely just like fan service all around. It was like, you know, an AI took all of the theories that fans have written in over the years and just wrote a script based on that, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know, it is what it is. Am I going to see the next one? Yeah, absolutely I am.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not a big fan of Brie Larson, but it's like, okay, whatever. Let's see what she does.
Wow, that's the one thing that would hold you back, huh?
Yeah.
like Academy Award winner Brie Larson.
Yeah, I just think she's kind of rude and mean. You know what I mean?
Sounds like Vin Diesel is a little rude and mean.
No, I will say this: the internet is like, really ragging on Vin Diesel because, like, obviously he posted that video with Justin Lin, and it kind of looks like a hostage situation, is what the internet was laughing about. But I'm thinking about it, like when he posted the picture of him and Brie Larson to announce that Brie Larson was in the picture, in the movie. I just said picture because I've been watching a lot of Miss Maisel. You know what I mean? She's in the pictures. Even that picture, it looks like they just look so fake, like they're just fake smiling, And I'm sure it is kind of insufferable to be with Vin Diesel. I mean, not trying to be rude, but
no, I
don't think I'm ever going to have a conversation with Vin Diesel in real life, so I think I can talk shit. You know what I mean?
I've actually met Vin Diesel.
Hey, let me ask you something. Luis.
What's up?
And I'm not trying to put you on blast or anything, but
no, not at all.
You're a little shorter than I am. I'll just say that. You know what I mean? Just by a little bit.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Where was Vin Diesel compared to you? Like at eye level, lower? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I don't think he was.
Did you put your hand on his shoulder at any point? You know what I mean? Like really, like power play.
I think no.
I would have.
I think he was just a little bit taller than me. I wouldn't say he was your height.
No, he's not at all.
No, definitely not. No,
he's a tiny boy.
Yeah. He's we were the last ones. He was doing a press junket. We were the last ones in line, so it looked like he was having a good time by the time he got to us.
Just good.
Yeah. So
so
you know
what?
I mean, he was having a good time. We were sitting,
good.
but I could see him when he walked in. It was for what movie was it for?
When y'all were sitting down, did his feet kick in the chair? You know what I mean?
I don't know. We had like a tabletop.
That makes sense. He doesn't want to see people go where he's doing this.
But he was he could have been. He was having a good time, And I was like, wow, he's he looked like a free man, and so just got to give it to him, I guess. For that, for living the life. He gets do whatever he wants, really. Right.
When that movie comes out, I'm gonna go see it. Are you guys gonna come see it with me?
I mean, I'll see it.
I don't mean. I'm sorry. I don't mean actually come out. And see it.
I was like, are we doing another trip? Yeah.
Can we go on the same day and watch it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'll watch
the showing. There we go.
We'll watch it, Ed.
That felt like
we have to have a scale from The Northman all the way to Fast X. Okay, the gamut is wide in this podcast.
Miguel, what did you think of The Northman, by the way?
I actually thought Fast and the Furious Hobbs and Shaw was a little bit better.
When you see The Northman and Everything Everywhere All at Once, then Ed will go see Fast.
Okay? I'll buy my ticket right then.
There you go.
The moment you do that, Miguel, I will, before they even wrap production,
I just wanted to say, like I said a second ago, I fully acknowledge that I'm the one that watches the shit movies. You know what I mean? I was just...
Hey, I watch shit movies too.
Just kind of casually throwing out an invite,
Yeah.
I'm not...
Of course we'll see it.
There you
go.
Of course we'll see it. There you go. I love you guys.
It'll be potentially the epic conclusion. Who knows? We got
our podcast.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Of our podcast and the movie. This is
Vin Diesel is gonna Tom Cruise this mother and just keep going until he's dead.
Oof. I wouldn't be surprised.
On a side note, just casually, I watched Saving Private Ryan again this last week. And
the best Vin Diesel movie.
And
you mean?
Vin Diesel is actually really good in it. It was before the ego. It was before the fame.
Yeah.
And it's a shame. It's a shame that he's rubbing people the wrong way because he was actually in that role pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I have a confession.
Thank you, everyone.
I have to make.
Are you about to say you've never seen Saving Private Ryan? You son of a bitch.
Luis.
I've never seen Saving Private Ryan.
Luis.
Are you serious?
I'll watch it. I'll watch it this week. How about that? I'll watch it this week.
One of the greatest movies of all time.
I know.
Of all time.
It's so good.
I don't know how I missed it.
It's so much more than just one really good scene. It's every scene back to back to back till the end of that movie.
It'll rock you to your core.
Yeah. It's so good.
Oh man.
1998. I mean, what was I doing in 98? I was
I was not allowed to see this movie when it came out.
No.
I did because my friend got it on VHS shortly after. And
actually, I was just thinking, I don't think I saw it till I was hanging out with you in high school or something. You know what I mean? I feel like I was with you the first time I saw it.
I will be that guiding candle.
There you go.
I think it's on Netflix right now, too.
Yeah, but only for like a few more days, Luis.
Shit.
Oh my god.
All right, well, that's a podcast, everybody. I'm going to go watch it. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'll go.
We'll hang up. I'll go watch The Truman Show. You go watch Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
Miguel,
you guys
hop in your car. Go see
the only
Everything Everywhere.
No, I'm gonna wait now because it's too late. I'm just gonna wait till it's on Amazon and I'll rent it. Okay, and then we'll do a streaming day where Luis streams something. Ed, what am I gonna do? No one is seeing that in the theaters anymore. I'm not gonna get the audience reaction. I'm not gonna get the audience reaction anyway.
Take your wife and get her audience reaction.
If I'm with my wife, we'll just watch it at home. Ed, theaters are dying. Okay.
Shh. Well, if they're dying, then where are we going to see Furious X?
I don't know. Probably on HBO Max, bitch. Okay?
Well, that was great moving on to the next topic. Yeah. There's a movie called...
by the way, this is the last Punch Drunk Nerd episode ever.
We made it to 9.
That's all. Yeah, we're not going to go to double digits, okay? We made it to single-digit podcasts.
Hey, this late in the game, let's pause for a second and shout out to our new listeners. It's not just Sarah anymore. Shout out Sarah. Okay. Ed's friend Darian is listening. Shout out Darian.
Yeah, Darian Hunt. Hey.
That's right.
Shout out to you, my friend.
Thank you for listening.
Yep.
And also Sean's mom. Sean's mom and dad.
I love it. Mom and dad?
I went to Sean's kid's birthday this last weekend.
Amazing.
And his parents were chatting me up about it, and his mom pulled out her phone and started searching it right in front of me. She was like,
amazing.
She was like, is it nerd with a 3 instead of an E? And I was like, yeah, that's it. And then she started playing it. She was like, oh, that's you. Wow.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for listening.
Yeah.
That's so great.
Yeah, shout out.
Oh my God. No, truly.
The Carters.
That's incredible. You're we're going to be part of the Premiere Club, okay? The first few listeners, Platinum, we're taking to the top. We're taking you to the premieres. Okay.
We got to get our Patreon set up real good so that they can subscribe and get their names on like our wall or something.
Yeah.
They can get like a producer credit.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. You're all producers.
It'll go Sarah, Darian, Sean's parents. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've already made anybody who gives us feedback. Yeah. Anybody who gives us feedback. You're a producer.
There you
Automatic producer.
Yes, thank you so much. And then we're gonna give you some more news you like to hear while you come to Punch Drunk Nerd. And that's to talk about toys and games that are gonna become movies. I'm sure you want to know about that. No, I thought this was a really weird thing, and I thought the list was crazy long. I can't believe there's so many.
Long.
It's so long. I'm going to spit through these movies that are, these are toy and game-based movies in the work. Okay, here we go. Barbie, Transformers Rise of the Beast, Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among the Thieves, Rock'em Sock'em Robots movie, Polly Pocket movie, Hot Wheels movie, Uno Heist movie, Magic 8 Ball movie, Rubik's Cube movie, American Girl doll movie, Beyblade movie, and Funko movie. Okay, these are all in works. And you know what? After the Emoji movie, I believe anything at this point. You know what I mean?
Some of those have to be Emoji movie level movies.
Yeah.
Right? Like for sure. Like Rubik's Cube. What the fuck?
Magic 8. Yeah, Rubik's Cube.
Magic 8 Ball. Why aren't they in the same movie? They're basically two handheld toys like that. You know what I mean? Be in the same fucking movie. Let's wrap this shit up.
Uno Heist movie? What does that mean?
What? You said heist and my brain exploded. What?
Yeah. And then what I learned in Barbie movie was that they were not going to use the "It's a Barbie Girl" song in the movie, which
that's a fake out. That's an absolute fake out.
Fake outs. Are we living in the time of fake outs now? Like it's just like don't trust anything. They're all faking us out.
It's
now.
like when Hulk was running in the trailer of Infinity War, and he wasn't in that fucking movie. That's what's happening right now with Barbie Girl the song. There is I just like Ed is so confident that Darth Maul is going to be in this show. I am equally as confident. Putting my foot down.
I kind of believe this one though because we were talking about it. We were talking about it last week. That because it's directed by Greta Gerwig.
Right.
It's co-written by Noah Baumbach. I mean, it really just depends on what they're going for.
Bro, I'm telling you.
Because, like, half of me expects it to be a really dark and cynical movie.
At the end of this really dark movie, you know what I mean? She's going to, like, get an abortion or something. And as the credits are rolling, it's going to be like, and I'm a Barbie girl. In a Barbie world. You know what I mean? It's going to be like one of those, like, slowed down sad versions.
Yeah.
Kind of like... it'll be like Promising Young Woman, where it's just like screechy violins and
hell yeah,
but like Britney Spears is toxic.
So like Harmony Korine directed Spring Breakers, in 2013, and in that movie, they had like Britney Spears playing, you know, and it was like an actual moment in the movie. So why not? Like if they're going for serious, you could totally incorporate that song in some creative artistic way where it's just like in the background and thinking about the follies of life and how, you know, there's a juxtaposition between the pop culture and consumerism versus, you know, real world and shit like that, you know?
I see it.
Yeah.
On a side note, I love that movie Spring Breakers. That movie was hilarious. You should see it if you haven't already.
Ed, have you seen it?
I have not. No.
Kristen and I, for the longest time, used to tell each other "Spring Break,
Spring Break,"
and look at all my shit.
Oh yeah!
I mean, to this day,
that was like a huge in Vine. I remember,
yes,
you know, those 15-second videos. They're look at all my shit. This is my shit. Look at all my shit. Like they were making TikTok vines back then, or it was literally a TikTok video, but it was a Vine, and they did such a good job of capturing that.
Oh, yeah.
Like you said. Okay.
And it's just as powerful as Saving Private Ryan, so you're definitely going to want to see it, okay?
Oh. Wow. What have I been missing all these years? I've always heard it was good, and it came out the same time as that one movie, The Bling Ring, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Am I remembering that correct? Sofia Coppola did that one?
Yeah.
I mean, regardless, I didn't see either of them, but okay, noted.
Yeah, check it out.
Maybe I will watch it.
So we haven't done this section in a long time, but we're going to talk about all the release updates, you know? So now we're near the end of the news section. We're going to talk about all the release updates to look forward to. Spitting these through real quickly. Disney Gallery, which is a behind-the-scenes look at some of the Star Wars Disney Plus shows. They're doing a Disney Gallery Book of Boba Fett coming out. It's actually available now, May 4th. So
yeah, it came out.
It came out. Go look for it if you want to know a behind-the-scenes look on how they did Boba Fett. Star Trek Strange New Worlds comes out the day this podcast is released, May 5th. I'm going to have to say this. I haven't seen Star Trek really. Like the only Star Trek I've seen is like the J.J. Abrams movie. I know my brother listened to watch Star Trek, The Next Generation. I know there's a fan base. I've never been into it, but I had to do a work campaign with Star Trek Strange New Worlds, the new one, and it kind of got me into it. I'm like, okay, I think I might tune into it, and I heard it got good reviews.
That's cool.
So it's on Paramount Plus. I'm gonna watch it. It's a prequel to the original series, so they're gonna have characters like Spock and Uhura in it before they were led by Captain Kirk. So this is with
there you go.
the main a huge person. So it's before that, and they're doing this thing called they're doing Adventure of the Week. So every week it's going to be like a different planet or different thing. So it's not like if you miss an episode,
that's very true to the original.
Yes, and I don't really know a lot about Star Trek, and so that's what always kind of scared me was like when Star Trek Discovery came out. I was like, well, I'm not into Star Trek. I'm sure there's a whole bunch of lore behind it, and there's a whole bunch of like history, and I'm not going to know what's going on. But they're doing Adventure of the Week, and like, I haven't seen that format in a while. I might as well dip my toe in it and see how it goes because, I want to watch a little bit more on Paramount Plus. I'm still watching the Halo series. I'll talk about more of that when we get the finale. And then Assembled, that's Marvel's BTS look at of their show. Assembled Moon Knight is coming out May 11th. Hack Season 2, HBO, coming out May 12th. Obi Wan Kenobi, May 27th. Stranger Things season 4 is being released in 2 different dates. The first 5 episodes are on May 27th, and then the last 4 on July 1st. Arcane, which was the animated series for League of Legends, they did this thing where it was like every week they released 3 episodes. I really like that format. This one has kind of a longer gap between May 27th to July 1st, which is fine, I guess. I like that they're spreading the love, so it's not just like one day, where everything is binged. I like it how fans get to come together and chit chat and speculate and like have something to look forward to after having a little taste of the show. So I'm kind of glad that they're splitting it up. What do you guys think about that?
I'm in the same boat with you now, Luis. When WandaVision on Disney Plus came out, all that time ago now, that was kind of the first streaming project in a while that was like, or for me personally, that was like, we're going back to the weekly, and then that's what Disney's been doing now with all their shows.
Yeah.
And I remember being very upset that first day because I was like, oh man, I kind of thought it was all coming out and I was going to get to really just kind of get through it. But it did kind of show me like, yeah, I am having fun. The anticipation is there.
Yeah.
I like having something to look forward to next week. And I don't like to binge anyway. You know what I mean? Even though I kind of wanted to for WandaVision, it gives me a breather. That way I'm not like kind of psyching myself or stressing myself out, like cramming everything in all at once.
Yeah. Especially now with like just this culture of like, I got to get it up first. We don't follow that suit at all. We have 1 week later release reviews like Doctor Strange. So, we take our time to watch stuff. And, when Stranger Things came out or all these shows, it's like you feel this pressure of like having to watch everything right away.
Or you're going to get it spoiled
from the enjoyment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I like that they're splitting it up.
Well, by the time you watch it, people are already over it, kind of thing.
Yeah. Especially like
I mean?
if they have these releases, like a new show every weekend, it's like, man, how can I keep up with those release dates?
Yeah.
With all these platforms. So it's cool. I'm glad that they're doing that. And then the last one I wanted to talk about is Expendables. The A is replaced with a 4. Number 4, Expendables. Has Sylvester Stallone.
So that's somebody else who owes us money?
Yeah. They owe us money to watch that movie. No, I haven't seen the Expendable movies. It's got Sylvester Stallone, Jason Statham, Dolph Lundgren, Ray Couture, Eddie Hall, 50 Cent, Megan Fox, Andy Garcia. The list goes on. But yeah, if you're an Expendables fan, coming out in 2022, this year.
I will say Expendables, I've seen 1 or 2 of them. Those are definitely Fast and the Furious type movies. You know what I mean? Like those are just like you have to go in it going, it's all these people reliving this glory and having a killer time doing it. Like just go shut up and have fun. Like don't try to analyze it. If something stupid happens, you're like, fuck yeah, it did.
Yeah,
I'm actually kind of excited.
It's like an Avengers. It's like an Avengers movie that like where all these like 90s action superheroes come together under one roof. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had no idea that a 4th one was coming out. You're actually surprising me right now. That's super awesome.
There you go. Look, you're getting the news straight from Punch Drunk Nerd. But that's all I got. You guys have any last closing news stuff you want to talk about before we talk about Moon Knight?
No, please no.
No.
Then let's make the transition into Moon Knight 106. And we're actually just going to talk about the whole season. So if you haven't seen it, skip around until oopsie daisy. Moon Knight 106. Yeah. So, here we are. I guess Khonshu is still Moon Knight no matter what. We got, I like to say, first off, we did get an answer on the fish. Okay. The fish are alive and now there's 2 of them. Remember, that was my biggest question throughout this whole series. What is up with the gold fish? There's 2 of them. Who put the fish there? Was it Steven? Was it Mark? Or was it Jake Lockley?
Turns out both.
The guy, the ruthless killer, Jake Lockley, that we barely saw, except near the ending of the show. No, but what did you guys think of Moon Knight as a whole in this finale?
I think it suffered in the same way that most of these Disney Plus shows have suffered a little bit. Uh-oh, have I frozen? There we go.
You're good.
In that, I think something that the internet is really kind of talking about right now as well is just like 6 episodes is just sometimes not enough. You know what I mean? Like or perhaps it's maybe that the episodes are too long or something. And sometimes the pacing of the overall story from the first scene to the very last one, you know what I mean? It just seems like it's kind of up and down, up and down, up and down. And I definitely found myself being a little more bored towards the end of this show than I wanted to be. I'm really just much more interested in seeing Moon Knight with other characters, with other Marvel characters specifically. You know what I mean? I liked some of the things they did, and obviously Oscar Isaacs is really good. His shitty British accent has won me over, you know? So I'm all here for it. I don't know what's happening with my camera right now, you guys. I'm sorry. I kind of keep...
Oh, you're good. I think it's still recording on your end, so...
Okay, cool. Yeah, it keeps freezing on me. But yeah, I'm sorry. I'm blathering now. What did you guys think?
I think you're totally right about this pacing situation. I think there is like we had a good start, and then it kind of like slows down a little bit where it feels like we're taking a little bit too long, and then it speeds up like we have to get so much information done in this last episode, and we don't have enough time, and we're done. And it feels kind of like, oh, we got to rush and quickly get it over with. At least that's the feeling that I kind of got. So as much as people are saying, yeah, it'd be great for the show to be longer, I still go back to the idea that I think this should have been a movie, or like this fits better as like, this could have been a Moon Knight Disney Plus movie. Do you know what I mean? Like maybe not a theatrical release, but like a TV movie. I know that they really wanted to like milk this cow for 6 episodes, and it was fun to go on this adventure and to learn about Steve and Mark in their own separate ways. But I think it could have been tighter and more concise as a movie, and I would have been fine with that. So yeah.
I also really like Ethan Hawke most of the time, but I kind of thought he was out of place in this show. I don't know if anyone else felt that way. I think he's good. But it just kind of was like, I didn't quite buy him in this whole like mystical, like Egyptian lore storyline, and he's like releasing this god, and it's like, I don't know.
No, yeah, I feel that too. I've been kind of like wrestling with that idea myself, because I do like Ethan Hawke, and it was just something that I didn't go all the way for some reason. Like wasn't like, I don't know. What do you think, Ed? What's your opinion on this?
I think that Ethan Hawke, I don't know. I liked him in that role. I think he has a certain quietness about him that kind of fits the whole kind of cult leader vibe. There's a certain mystical element to that, and I appreciate that, especially when they see him both as that and then the psychiatric doctor.
Yeah.
I think he plays very well with both of those roles. I mean, yeah, I was even thinking today, like, oh yeah, Ethan Hawke's having a great year. He's had The Northman.
Yeah.
He has this show, and then he's got that horror movie coming out, Black Phone or some shit. Which, I don't know, early word has said it's pretty good. But is that the right one? Black Phone
I don't know.
or some shit?
I think that sounds familiar. I can look it up.
I've never heard that.
It looks pretty intriguing, that horror movie. Anyway, I digress. But I thought he fit the role very well. I will agree that I never really expected his character to get in the action, so to speak. But they kind of alluded to that anyway, since he was previously Khonshu's avatar. I will say, and I was hoping to rewatch the last episode today. I just ran out of time. But and I think I've rewatched every episode of this series so far, except this one. But I was really taken with it. I thought they stuck the landing, which I'm kind of relieved. I thought that I definitely agree. I think it could have been a much tighter movie. And with that movie, I think a lot of the dramatic elements would have had a little bit more heft to it, as well as the action when it finally happened. And specifically, and I mean, you guys probably agree with this, you can pinpoint episode 3, for me, was the weakest one. It just felt like it kind of slowed things down a bit, apart from like certain elements, but overall, yeah, that was the weakest episode. But I felt like, yeah, there was kind of like a rushed feeling towards the end, but I felt like everything kind of came together in its own way.
Yeah.
And they also kind of rewarded you with a couple of things, like, and what I really appreciate about this show in particular is that they reward you finally with some like proper Moon Knight action, but it felt so like organic and justified. Like, okay, this is it, this is the moment, but let's join together.
I did love that, yeah.
To make Moon Knight 1, you know, as 2.
Yeah.
And I thought the action paid off. I still think Kevin Feige was a fool to make comparisons to things like Fight Club and shit like that. You just don't need that in your mind going into this. And I know Moon Knight is a violent.
Fight Club,
Did he say that?
Jones, yeah.
He's like, yeah, it's just like so unnecessary to put that in your mind, you know? It's because then you have these expectations, and I know Moon Knight is kind of like one of the more violent characters of the Marvel Universe. So when you hear something like that, you're just like, oh yeah, this is going to be real fucking gritty, when it really wasn't.
It wasn't.
So
I think,
and not that I was disappointed by that, but I could see why people would be disappointed by that, because it's misleading in a certain way.
well, I wonder
because
if the
it's
Fight
dealt with a lot more.
Yeah.
Sorry, go
I
ahead.
was gonna say, I think maybe I was thinking about that too, and I didn't know if he meant Fight Club in the sense where like the mental aspect.
He's a schizophrenic
Yeah.
yeah, no, I get more of that too, but
I'm on the same page. I thought it was
still
more
in that
violent, yeah. Like,
yeah, it's definitely just a little bit misleading. But overall, like, I think I had the same reaction with Eternals. It's just like, I love all of this history and this mythology. So I was really into that. I'm glad we got to see Amit. I thought that was cool. I'm a sucker for kaiju and monsters fighting.
Yes, I was gonna praise that. It was so cool seeing them fighting in the back. Like there was a shot where they were like in the background, and then Arthur was in the foreground, and it was just like this two fights happening at the same time.
Yeah.
No,
and what an incredible set piece to have it, you know, right there in Egypt with the pyramids in the background and all of that. Like, how wonderful is that?
That was, exactly. Kaiju-ness.
And it was, and yeah, of course, it's like coming down to the same old Marvel stuff, which I feel like everybody complains about, but obviously nobody actually cares. Of like the world coming to an end, so everybody's gotta, fuck it, whatever. That's what we're here for. This is what superheroes are about.
You know, I actually appreciated that it really wasn't a world-ending storyline like normal.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It felt like it was the beginning of
something big.
You know what I mean? Like a new era in these dark days or whatever. I didn't, even though they did almost do the beam in the sky kind of thing.
You know, that's all I meant. Like there was something that was going to start impacting at least the surrounding community. Kind of like that one city in Ultron. Sokovia. You know what I mean? But anyway, I said, it didn't bother me none, and I like even at that point they like when Layla took on Tarret as an avatar. I was just like, fuck yeah. And then she's got her wings. Oh, she looked great in that.
Yeah.
Like, I was just so pumped for that when that happened. And then, like, just the coming together of them all and fighting in the streets while all of that shit was going on. I thought, it was a good, fun payoff. And we got to keep Stephen Grant, which was like a kind of, I think they knew they had to bring that character, like keep that character around. And I think obviously that's the whole thing about Moon Knight. He has these split personalities, which makes him so interesting, and it made the action that much more entertaining.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like Moon Knight coming in via Mark and just like whipping ass.
They were both working together, like, switching suits to do different things. Yeah.
Back and forth like that. It was so fun.
That was really fun.
It was,
Dude, I can't wait to see more of that type of action when he's like with other
heroes. Oh man. And seeing other characters react to that also.
Yes. Yeah. I want to say, talking about Layla, the Layla character, this is a moment that I would normally say was probably pandering a little bit, or I'm sure people will complain about it as pandering a little bit. But I was actually kind of taken aback, and I don't want to say choked up, but like a little bit like, oh, that's cool. When the girl stops her and asks her, "Are you an Egyptian superhero?" And she was like, "Yes." I don't know why, because I guess because it was unexpected to me. I wasn't ready. I didn't expect them to do, make a nod to that or whatever. But I was kind of like, that's kind of badass. It is. And that was a moment that clicked for me. Like when they say like representation matters, I know like right wingers like roll their eyes at shit like that. But it was just kind of like, I felt that in that moment. I was like, that's cool. And it wasn't so in your face. It wasn't as in your face as like the Avengers scene where all the girls get together, which I know people are hot and cold on. I liked that moment. So I really enjoyed that. And it made me care for her just that much more, that someone was like, I think you're cool.
Yeah.
Someone other than me in the moment as the audience, you know what I mean? Someone else was in their own point of view was saying, you're badass. And I thought that was cool.
The embrace of the Egyptian mythology and culture was just fun, and it's nice to see Marvel exploring these other characters, these lesser known characters, and bringing them to the forefront.
Yeah,
like I don't know. You wouldn't have expected Moon Knight to be like a starter of the MCU, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But because they've built that fan base, they know that they can start pulling these characters in. So, and the way that they approach them too, it's making the whole thing seem a lot more interesting by bringing in all of these new elements that, aren't just run-of-the-mill superhero tropes,
Mm-hmm.
So,
one of the things that I was thinking about the most during the show was like if Moon Knight had come out like just before Avengers Infinity War or something, and like just trying to imagine like if you had taken his storyline and shoved it back just a little bit, and like how he would have interacted with the Avengers or Thanos or the Snap or anything like that. And I'm having a hard time seeing it because it's just like he is just so crazy. I can't imagine like him and Tony Stark having conversations with each other. You know what I mean?
But I almost can. It would be like Tony Stark and Steve Rogers interacting, like that line in Age of Ultron where he's like language, and you can imagine him like Tony getting frustrated going between Mark and Steven being like the more like, hey, don't do that, and Mark being like, you want to fight kind of thing.
Sorry, as he like bumps into like
exactly. There's so much there's so many possibilities for this character. It will be interesting to see them bounce off
interact.
Oh man, I can't wait to see Steven
and
interact
especially with
like, oh my god, amazing,
and not just these characters that are so well rounded now, but also just like specifically like the Egyptian lore.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like someone imagine an Avenger who's been around with Thor all this time, and you're like, oh my god, space god, aliens, this and that. And then all of a sudden you're like, wait, what? Egypt?
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
Exactly.
Now I got to deal with this whole other realm of
and that's what's happening. Like
ludicrousness.
Yeah, like with so Thor's introducing Zeus, so we're now dealing, with the Greek mythology, and then we're also dealing with, we had Norse mythology already with Thor, and we're dealing with Egyptian mythology, and we don't forget Shang-Chi was dealing with, mythology, and so it's just it is great to see all the different ways of storytelling coming together, and it makes it so much more fun and interesting. And
it seems like with every project that comes out, I'm reminded of how I felt at the end of Endgame, which was, I'm sure, how a lot of people felt, was where is this going to go? Like, how can they top this? How can we find compelling, captivating stories post Endgame?
Yeah.
And it seems like they're bringing out all the stops.
What's going to unify them is, again, the multiverse and gods. That's the unifying factor. I mean, gods are just like higher leveled beings that can exist in different dimensional spaces of, of space. And so they have this ability to influence humankind and all of these things. But that's going to be the crux of it all, like dealing with the multiverse, dealing with the different variants that are out there, and then the place that gods, quote unquote gods, hold during this multiverse of madness. You know what I mean? Because they do have a responsibility to look after, quote unquote lower life forms. And that's what's going to come into question in Thor: Love and Thunder with Gore, the God Killer, who's kind of speaking out like, hey, gods aren't doing enough. And you can see in this one where there's two gods debating on how it's best to like rule the world. Do you do something? Do you save the world by eliminating danger before it happens? Or do you stop it when people do malicious things? And there's this whole concept of like, how do we rule? How do we protect? Thor is going to be taking a break, but there must always be a Thor. You know what I mean? That's what Mjolnir comes back and says, no, there must always be a Thor. That's why we have The Mighty Thor by Jane Foster coming in to take that mantle as Thor is like relaxing and taking his vacation. And it's just like, you have a responsibility to look out for people. It's like the Spider-Man, mantra, with great power comes great responsibility. And so we're going to go through this whole thing of the gods' responsibility in the midst of this multiverse madness that has unraveled because of what's happened in Loki when that Kang, the one who remains, died. Because that when Kang, the one who remains, died by what's her name? Gosh, I forget her name. Sylvie. When she kills him, that creates the chaos that we're seeing now. And so like the failure of all this stuff, and like, at least that's what Kevin Feige said on the red carpet. I was like, oh my God, that is such a cool little insight that he had. I wish I had the quote here somewhere. Oh, he said Loki and Sylvie did something at the end of that series that sort of allowed all of this to be possible. He who remained is gone, and that allowed a spell to go wrong in Spider-Man No Way Home, which leads to the entire multiverse going quite mad in this. And that was his quote at the red carpet. And I was like, oh, that's so well said as far as like what to expect. So we really are ramping up, and man, it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, that was a lot of stuff I was thinking coming out of Eternals. The scope,
exactly, the Celestials,
and the yeah. I mean, fuck me, man. Thanos was one thing, and I remember first, like when we first saw the Avengers, and then we got the little cameo of Thanos, and Miguel turned to me and was like, "You know who that is?" I was like, "Nope." I feel like we're just about to enter in a whole world of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For the general audience, it's going to be interesting to see how the world responds to this and how it keeps up with all of this, because there's so much to take in. And while we enjoy it, us three, it's it's not going to be the same for everybody, and people are going to start straining themselves.
You'll
for
have
these
to
movies.
pick
I mean, they are like really shoving a lot of stuff in your face, and you really do have to take it in. And not everyone rewatches movies like we do,
Yeah.
like repeatedly. It's just it'll just be interesting. That's all I'll say. Like, I'm cautiously optimistic, and I mean, I know they've gotten us this far, but it is a very fine line at this point, and to be entering into so many different mythologies and so many different worlds and so many, universes, where it's and how do you come back from that? How do you go small scale from that?
Yeah. I mean, they're gonna go Secret Wars. You know what I mean? Where it expands and then it just comes back down to like one world again. You know what I mean? Like it's just
yeah.
That's what has to happen. There's gonna be so many. It's gonna expand out of control, and then it has to condense back again to normal, almost like. And that's what they'll be able to do. Their reboots. You know what I mean? And that's when we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, this is gonna be a long time from now, but like 20 years from now.
Yeah, of course.
I'm sure they'll be able to reboot. Or 10 years or 15, whatever, 10 years. Like 15. Like they'll be able to reboot. After
here's the deal.
Wars and yeah,
I want to put a button on this because my phone's about to die and I'm gonna have to go get my charger here in a second. But
okay.
I want to say, and I've said this before, but here is my prediction on how superhero movies are going to end overall. The last superhero movie we see is going to be a DC versus Marvel movie. Okay, like.
Yeah.
And I know it sounds dumb, but I'm just like, we are going to reach a point where we can no longer go further, Yeah. And that is going to be, to me, what I think is going to be like the end of superhero movies. Because you just can't do anything else past that.
Do you know?
And it's going to be directed by J.J. Abrams.
You're fucking welcome. Okay.
You know what? You know what is like, we're primed to do that because one, the multiverse is here. And so the possibilities of that happening is totally feasible. And with the change of leadership from Warner Brothers and like Discovery coming in, and as they try to find ways to like have some footing in their movies, like Sony was able to work with Marvel, and they were able to do Spider-Man: No Way Home, which did amazing.
Bro,
why wouldn't Warner Brothers be like, dude, we are desperate. Let's do this Marvel DC movie. Let's have a one-off where, and
where they all run at each other like in-game style. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, dude, that is, and then American audiences, the audiences around the world will go, okay, we've had enough. That's it.
And I'm done.
I'm done. Please,
I'm done.
Can we go back to smaller budget movies, please? Okay, you guys, I have to pause real quick because my phone is about to die. So
okay,
I don't want to miss the the
MCU ranking
top 10. Yeah, I don't want to miss anything.
We'll wait. We'll
give me just a second.
We'll talk more about Moon Knight.
There you go. I'll be right back.
Or unless Luis, you had something else lined up.
I love it. Let's talk about Moon Knight. Did you have any more thoughts? I had.
I'd like to talk about the episode in particular.
Yes, exactly.
Because coming out of the last episode, which had so much emotional heft and baggage poured into it, it was, and I rewatched that one today before I watched the last one.
Yeah.
Just have a good run of.
Totally.
And I thought they pieced together really well. But I just enjoyed it. I had like a big stupid grin on my face towards the end, especially at the very end, the way they ended it, where they were just like, here's all of this, and let's leave you to question your reality again.
Yeah.
Only for those two to figure it out and just claim their own reality. I'm talking about Mark and Steven, of course. And they're back in London together. And I love that moment where they wake up and it's like, Steven, you here? And he's still there, obviously. And he's just like, it's just him as one now.
It's cool.
It's a lot of fun. And and I did have a sneaking suspicion coming into this episode that we were going to finally meet that third.
Dude, I was waiting the whole time. I was like, here, when's he coming? When's he coming? They were setting him up the whole time. They had like all these one-offs, and then like previously on they were
Uh-huh.
showing that sarcophagus, and then they were like,
Yeah.
there's more than one of you or someone else. Like, what did he say? Is like, I hope you. I don't know what he said, but they were setting it up for sure to have Jake Lockley and his character of like this vicious person, and how
yeah, and it makes sense too. It didn't feel forced or anything, and of course it was going to be a mid-credit sequence. You know, like by the time it happened, I was just like, well, yeah, this is where we're going to meet that guy. And I don't know much about these three personalities other than what we've seen through the show. So it'll be very interesting to explore that. But I just thought that everything that we got in episode 5 really played well into this episode.
The
fact that we were seeing that Stephen was a byproduct of the trauma of his brother dying, but also as a result of the abuse he was experiencing from his mother. And you think that Stephen was there. I mean, the way they lay it out or set it up is as if Stephen was the one who was taking the brunt of the mother's abuse.
Yeah.
But I think that's when Jack or Jake Lockley? I'm sorry. Jake Lockley. That's when Jake Lockley would come in as like the triple threat. Whenever that abuse actually started happening, like the physical abuse.
Yeah.
Like, it was like a tier of, like, Stephen coping with the emotional abuse. Oh, sorry, Mark dealing with the emotional abuse by creating Stephen. And Stephen, seeing the lighter side of his mother, or remembering her as such, and Mark hiding that from him. But Jake was the one who actually took the brunt of that physical violence.
Yeah.
And we don't see that because they step away. But anyway, I just thought it was all handled really well. And it all just like paid off brilliantly.
Yeah, I think, like you said, from episode 5 to episode 6, they pair really well together, like a fine wine and steak, because, you deal with the trauma, and you see how Mark is dealing with this trauma and how he's kind of separated himself into two people. And then in the 6th episode, you see a kind of this beautiful reunion of them coming together, working together, or even in the fight sequence we've talked about earlier, how they're leaning on each other, and just pacing wise, you're really like slowing down, you're really taking your time. And so when we get to the 6th episode, when we're really ramping things up in that final act, you're ready for it. Because you've been watching like this setup, you've been watching them suffering, that you're like, all right, let's get this shit. Let's go in, and we're together. We're a team. You see that they've really will sacrifice each other for each other.
Yeah.
And when they're working together, it's like, it is very enjoyable, and it's something that you want to root for. And
it's earned.
It's earned. Yeah. It's earned.
Yeah.
And so it just swings well into it, where you're like, you're here, and then you're swinging into the action. And so it feels comfortable to go into that final act, just guns a-blazing, or moon blades a-blazing,
Oh god.
And I was really afraid that we were going to see not afraid, I guess afraid for the character of Layla, that she was going to get taken over by Khonshu, purely just to save Mark and Stephen. But I'm so glad that she took on Taret.
Yeah, me too.
And that moment when she actually transforms into her, and Taret is like super excited and giddy. She's just like, "Oh, they've got the best costume for you too." Just as like the whole building's coming down. Yeah, I was just like, "Oh fuck yeah, this is so great! What a good payoff!" And I'm so glad Layla was not just kind of like pushed aside, but rather brought into the action.
Yeah, I like, it was one of those moments where they did a good job where they started at the feet and they were panning up, where I was like, I don't know what her costume is going to look like.
Exactly. Is it going to be a hippo?
Yeah.
Like,
and then when
like a fat suit or something.
When she reveals the wings, Sarah was like, "Oh, hippos don't have wings." You know what I mean? But that was just like But it was still very cool, because there was, again, not knowing what to expect, and it felt like a new introduction. And the way it was revealed was like, like you're just at the edge of your seat waiting to see like, okay, what is she gonna look like? What is her powers gonna be? How is that gonna affect her? And then like she doesn't have a mask. It's just her being a badass, and she has these fucking powerful wings that shoot out of her.
Great hair too.
Yeah,
like,
just like just powerful looks. I don't know. It was just cool, and it matching up with what Miguel was saying about like, hey, are you like an Egyptian superhero? Like that, all that sets it up to be like, yeah, she is, and I was actually curious to hear more what she was going to say about that Jake Lockley character, because she was witnessing it. She saw what happened.
At the end where he almost kills Harrow.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually thought he died. I was like, I don't know what.
Yeah, me too. I thought it was like, because I thought he had put the axe or the cane in his head.
That's what I thought too. Yeah.
No, for sure. They play. I'm glad that they leaned in, or just like let that leaned into that side of the story coming into this episode. Because I didn't know if they were gonna just stick with Mark and Steven, but no, they caught us up on what was going on the outside. And I thought it was hilarious when Taweret would possess the people who were dead or dying.
Yes, that's a good one, yeah.
And they were just like straining to talk to her.
Yeah.
Like that one guy comes up and is like, you could save Mark and Steven. Oh no, wait. It was I get this show really, really did a good job at like physical comedy. I've said it pretty much every fucking episode, but I was here for it. This was, I thought, pretty satisfying, and I would rank it. Gotta let it settle a little bit, but like this would be second to WandaVision for me. I'm glad it stuck the landing.
Wow.
Yeah. I do want to see.
I really enjoyed it.
I do want to see the new Captain America, the Falcon Captain America, meet up with Layla as they kind of compare wings.
Wings.
That's what I was like. I was noticing. That was one comparison I had, and then the other comparison I had again was going back to Shang-Chi when they had those demon suckers. So when they broke through the gate and they were coming from another dimension, that dragon, they had these little demons that sucked your soul or your essence, and then fed it into the dragon, and the dragon got more powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And then this show, that's what was happening, where all these purple souls were flying in the air and going into Amet. And I was like, oh, it's funny. There's like a kind of a connection where people's essence and souls and the Celestials, and now I'm stretching, but the Celestials and Eternals, where it was like they kind of use people's intelligence or use people's livelihood or people's life to birth a new Celestial too. So it's almost it's this interesting thing. I don't really know what it is, but how our essence and lives kind of fuel these demons and gods. Which, maybe that's why Thanos wanted to eliminate half the people, because he didn't want all this shit to happen. He's like, I don't want Celestials to take life. I don't want, these demons and gods to take over. So fuck it. Half of you are gone. Sorry. Bye-bye. But yeah, no, all that to say, going back again, it was it was a fun ending to the series. And I'm more than anything, now that we have this here, I'm looking forward to seeing more of Moon Knight in the show or in other stuff.
Well, hopefully, in movie format. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Miguel, did you have any kind of like last thoughts for Moon Knight?
Yeah, I will say this. Can you guys hear me okay? Because I'm on my other headphones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It is what it is. I will say I didn't quite love the show as much as Ed did. I thought it was good. I want to see more of it. I will say this. The fight scene in this one where Steven obviously finds like his rhythm and he starts attacking all these people as the suave Moon Knight, whatever you call that one. I was like fucking, because the internet was already sending me videos of this. They were like, this is the greatest fight scene of all time. And I was just thinking, nerds love a solid hallway fight scene.
Yeah.
And even though it was outside, it was absolutely a hallway fight scene. You know what I mean? He like just
totally
boom, just goes straight down the line, ba 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 ba.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? You know why we love it? Because it works. Okay. Yeah. It was just, it's so badass. You love it every time.
Yeah.
If they want to do
a nice little tracking shot here.
Yeah. If it limits
if they want to do it in every single Marvel project from here to the end of time, fuck it. Let's go.
One of the best hallway fight scenes is that Daredevil season 1 when he's going through.
Bro, that's why I brought it up. Yeah.
That is so good. It is like, and it feels so real because he gets actually tired as he's fighting, and you can feel the progression of the fight, you know, where it's not just like endless energy. You can feel him going through it and trying to push more. But yeah, hallway fight scenes, man.
That's my next venture, Marvel. I told our friend Sean, who we mentioned earlier, I was gonna watch the Netflix Marvel Daredevil show.
Yeah,
I don't think I'll watch the others one.
You should watch Jessica Jones.
You should watch Jessica Jones.
You should. Yeah, no, that's a good one. That's like, and it has one of my favorite villains of.
David Tennant is really good.
It's one of my top 3 villains in the
Miller.
Marvel, to be honest.
Jessica.
Yeah. No, you're making jokes, but Luis is being fucking serious right now.
I'm being very serious.
Sorry.
Top 3, one of the top 3 villains. I'm gonna kill you. No, I'm kidding.
Fuck. All the more intimidating because you're, like I told you guys, my video drags. So there was just like a dead ass serious Luis right in the middle here. So it's very intimidating. Consider me scared, pissed my pants. I will watch it.
But hey, you know what? I will say as huge Marvel fan, I didn't watch Iron Fist because I watched the first couple episodes drunk, and even drunk, I couldn't get through it. But I haven't seen The Punisher, and I do want to watch that series, so I might end up watching it if whatever. Because I think that might be fun to watch. But Daredevil and Jessica Jones.
So we didn't say this.
What's up?
Those are the ones. Those are the ones to go to.
Yeah.
I was just going to say
Daredevil and Jessica
I haven't seen
Jones.
The Punisher, so I can't say The Punisher, but Daredevil.
I hear that
and
one's
Jessica
really
Jones.
good too, though.
That's what I hear too. Yeah. Okay, well, everybody, that was it for part 1. Tune in to part 2, where we're going to do our top 10 of the MCU. Find out what our top movies are. Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness will not be on that list, but it'll be everything before then. So until then, later, Gators.